Former Miss Universe, HIV/AIDS ambassador, and the first appointed Red Cross Youth Ambassador for the Caribbean, Wendy Fitzwilliam, is calling on private and public sectors to unite in support of the Red Cross. Fitzwilliam, who paid a courtesy call to the BVI Red Cross headquarters on Thursday morning, says public-private partnerships are not as widespread in the region as they are in other areas worldwide. She said these partnerships help to provide support for the non-governmental organization.
When I say public-private sector partnerships, the Red Cross is an NGO, a global NGO, and very well known. So yes, they're able to raise significant funding usually, but it's never enough. The Red Cross on the African continent has been able to create relationships with corporations indigenous to Africa and multinationals operating there, and lobby heavily the governments in the countries in which they operate to provide support in developing certain programs. So for example, the library system that is being developed in Angola, very much with the support of the Red Cross, not necessarily Red Cross funding to build all of those libraries, but Red Cross support in terms of training the appropriate staff at all levels, and getting the word out, funding perhaps some of the promotional programs for the use of the libraries that are being developed, that kind of thing. So it's, in my mind, a little more of those kind of partnerships. That way the limited resources we do have go a much longer way.
Fitzwilliam said her work in the region has been minimal, but she has worked with the Red Cross in Africa, Nigeria, and particularly Angola, where the state is partnering with the Red Cross to implement programs in communities.
The state is very responsibly in partnership with the Red Cross and other organizations like this, developing theaters, community centers, putting in Wi-Fi infrastructure everywhere. It is the Dubai of sub-Saharan Africa. We don't hear so much about them in our part of the world because they are a former Portuguese colony. So as you know, our good news in certain parts of the world isn't as easily disseminated if the language is not the same. But that to me is a success story.
Wendy Fitzwilliam's visit to the BVI also included a presentation at the Islands of the World Conference at the HLSCC on HIV and AIDS.